2019 sees the release of not one but two Captain Marvel movies from bitter rivals DC and Marvel. Technically, DC's entry goes by Shazam these days, which has of course led to peace and harmony between the fan bases. So, to stoke the fire, we thought it'd be fun to pit the two against each other to see who'd win in a fight. So, who's the most powerful Captain Marvel?
First, a bit of backstory. Marvel's Captain Marvel, aka Carol Danvers, gained her powers after an explosion fused her DNA with that of Kree heroes Captain Marvel. You with me so far? She went around as Ms. Marvel for a while before being promoted to Captain, firing a costume designer and getting a fresh new cut. Meanwhile, DC's Captain Marvel, aka Billy Batson, was granted superpowers by the wizard Shazam, a very convenient acronym that clues us in on his powers. More on those in a moment. Suffice to say, the two are relatively evenly matched on paper, so evenly matched in fact that they share the same name. Except they don't anymore.
For those who don't know, a legal battle between Fawcett Comics and DC prompted the original Captain Marvel, the Billy Batson one, to get shelved due to similarities to Superman. The character would later return, but in the interim, Marvel had trademarked their own Captain Marvel, and DC's comic got renamed Shazam. Although Billy would still transform into Captain Marvel for many years to come, his name officially became Shazam in 2012. With all the name swapping, it's understandable that both characters are suffering identity crises of sorts. Carol had memories implanted in her brain and occasionally loses a grip on reality, whereas Billy's a boy trapped in a man's body, which must get weird. I mean, does he ever make like Tom Hanks in Big?
Do you mean sleepover?
With the name fiasco out of the way, what are the big differences between the two? Well, whereas Carol is a genetically altered human-alien hybrid, Shazam has the power of the gods themselves, essentially putting him on the same level as Superman, if not above, having got the better of soups on multiple occasions, and even beating his counterpart in comic book sales. No wonder DC felt the need to sue Fawcett then. When you look at Shazam in godly terms, he clearly sets himself apart from his opponent, but this being a classic DC character, there's surely some stupid weakness to exploit, right? Can't be lamer than Yellow though. Or would.
Shazam's biggest vulnerability is his alter ego. He has been forced to utter his safe word in the past, making it very easy to get the win. He's also had his powers stolen, but Captain Marvel doesn't really have the skills to pull off these maneuvers, so she'd need to rely on her durability to even stand a chance. And in this department, Carol is immensely skilled. In fact, she's survived the nuclear explosion before, which, if you ask Sarah Connor, is no walk in the park. Especially while walking in the park. Point is, Captain Marvel can absorb massive amounts of energy, which has in the past triggered a binary form, effectively turning a Super Saiyan.
When she's not punching Granny in the face, Captain Marvel has been described as the most powerful superhero in the MCU, supposedly being the deciding factor against Thanos, so she's pretty damn tough. Thing is, she can get even tougher. Carol's had a real hard time in the comics. She had her powers and memories stolen by Rogue, gave birth to her lover from another dimension, look that one up later, and also wound up getting probed by aliens. But that last one wasn't so bad, as the process unlocked Carol's full evolutionary potential. As binary, Carol is immensely more powerful and, by tapping into a white hole, is able to travel at light speed, survive in space, and control the electromagnetic spectrum. But this power later disappeared and rarely returned, so it's not clear whether we'll see her binary form or her white hole in the upcoming movies. If binary is unleashed though, as many fans have speculated is happening here, it's not going to be an easy ride for Billy.
So who wins? Well, sadly for Carol, her energy absorption has its limits, and the more power she exerts, the quicker she burns out. And besides, Billy could probably take the punishment, having survived the Spectre and a Tesseract bomb. He has almost infinite endurance and could keep fighting long after Carol's power dissipates. Crucially, Captain Marvel has shown weakness to magical attacks in the past, and Billy's something of a master in the mystic, techniques? He's essentially a roided up sorcerer. He's shown telepathic abilities in the past and could potentially exploit his opponent's fragile mind too. And armed with the strength of Hercules, the speed of Mercury, and best of all, Zeus's very particular set of skills, Shazam could very easily put Captain Marvel on her ass.
Sorry Marvel fans, but Shazam outperforms Captain Marvel in almost every department. Bottom line is, he's god level, and as such, we've selected him as the original and best Captain Marvel. But who do you think would win in a fight? And more importantly, who do you think is going to win the box office? Let us know in the comments and be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And if you enjoyed this, here's a couple more videos to explore.